Guys, I have another beautiful Wisdom Wednesday for you. Today, Sasha and I are going to talk about changing direction in your life. So, obviously, sometimes, this is a normal thing to go through, a big change in your life. Um, at the moment, it's a big thing because of COVID. So a lot of people are changing direction. They're realizing what's really important to them. They're realizing the morals that they had that they've been ignoring. They've realized that there's actually more things to life than work, which is definitely something that you still need to realize if you haven't already. And we're going to really just discuss, I guess, the pros and cons of making a really big life decision like that. Let's see. Sasha, Instagram has slightly changed up the invitation process, so just to complicate everything. Hello, my dear.
Hello, my love. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about? We're talking about changing direction in your life.
Mm,
So, like making a big life change, maybe post COVID, like little, I guess, realizations
mm,
of when is a
mhm.
good time to change direction. Um, so I'm gonna ask your opinion on a couple of things. The
Yeah.
first one being, how do you find out what you really want? So, by that I mean, if you're going in this direction and you realize
Mhm,
that actually what you want is over here and it's not in
mhm.
this straight line that you're building yourself,
Yeah.
how do you realize that that's really what you want and not just a shiny object that's distracting you?
Mm. It's a really good question, Helen, because we are in a world of shiny objects.
Yeah.
I think actually, one way of connecting yourself to this decision and knowing it's coming from your higher self and not from your ego is, I think that's the distinction, right? Because the ego will want the shiny object and grass is always greener, and it's just like we said, you don't want to give up on something that really matters to you, and that you actually just need to keep going because something got tough, right? Life will do
Yeah.
that, especially when you care about something. It will do that, so to test you, right? So I think one
Yeah.
way is to, if you're having like this midlife or quarter life or third, I don't care what it is, life crisis, where you're like,
Random
okay,
crisis,
yeah,
daily
like
crisis.
I have
It's
one
all
every
good.
year, like,
Oh, I have one like most weeks. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
right? Yeah. So to know whether like you should, make a choice because something's presenting itself, like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to change, or whether or not you should just keep quiet and keep going. I feel like the one question you just to ask yourself is, if I do this, yeah, if I choose to do this,
Yeah.
and in 10 years I look back at this moment, will I feel like I made a brave choice and that I came out of the closet, so to speak, in my mind? Because in that moment, I knew that I wasn't looking for an escape. I was looking to wake up to myself, if that makes any sense. Because I don't think that a moment of like, I want this or I want that comes, at you and kind of manipulates you into thinking, oh yeah, I want this thing and I never wanted it. You will always know. You will always know if this is something you truly desire because you've always wanted it. You'll just remember. And the way you know is that remembering won't feel great. It will feel like, oh my God, I have to literally change things like big time. I will have to give up my identity that feels so safe and happy because I'm not actually happy. I'm going with the flow of something that's not mine. And it brought me here. And I'm really grateful because this thing, like, if I don't do this in 10 years, I'll look back and I'll feel like a coward,
Yes.
because I
That,
feel that's what it is. It's that you betraying yourself. You know that you're betraying yourself when it's coming from your higher self. It's not your ego. It's not going to hurt anyone. It's not coming because you want something you don't have. It's not because you feel it's hard right now and so you want it to be easy. That's not the thing. You know it's going to be hard. That's the thing. But you choose
yeah.
it because not choosing it means betraying who you are. Like
Yeah.
I feel like does that make any
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely makes sense.
Okay.
Absolutely makes sense.
What do you think?
So, I mean, similar. I'm kind of on the stage of like writing things down and just like it's okay. It's like something I once heard for deciding whether you want a new tattoo or not, which is
Mm.
like get the picture of it
Yeah.
and stick it like somewhere, so
Yeah.
maybe on your mirror or something like that, where you
Yeah.
see it every day. And
Yeah.
if you still like it after like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever,
Yeah.
if you still love that image, then yeah, go get it on your body for the rest of your life. But
Yeah.
if you after a week are just like, why was I gonna get that? Then obviously it
Yeah.
wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
but I'm very much on the kind of the side of tattoos should have meaning, and all mine have meaning. So it's
Yeah.
like that's kind of how I think, and like it's the
Yeah.
same with making a decision. You know, like is it is it just something shiny sent to distract me? Is
Yeah.
this a test to see how
Yeah.
dedicated I am to the cause?
Yes. Yes.
Or is this actually the direction I'm supposed to be moving in? And
Yeah.
is it just time
Hmm.
that I move there?
Yeah.
Because,
Hmm.
you know, and I think the
Yeah.
more you see it as a thing and you see it as an option and you see it as like maybe a possibility in your life, then the more you can decide whether you really want that or whether it's just something shiny sent to test you.
Yes. Yeah. I think the key, Ross, don't worry about it. We love you still. Um, so I think the what also, yeah, there's so many ways, but I feel like actually what you said is really important. Like you really need to see it as, first of all, here's the thing, you run the show. So whether or not you think you don't have time and you must make it, like if you feel rushed, and this is another thing, if you feel like there's pressure and you have to make this, that's not coming from you. Like it's coming from
Yeah,
your ego.
it's
Like
coming from
your
someone else
higher
or
self,
your
yeah,
ego.
yeah, will never put you in a place of like, make the decision now or the world will end. Like, no. You know, if you feel that anxiety and like, oh my God, I have to do it now, I can't think, don't do anything. Like, just don't do anything. Like
Yeah.
what you said, go journal on what you will feel once the decision is made this way, journal on what you will feel if it's made this way. Really center that vision for
Yeah.
yourself. Like, okay, in 2 years, in 2 months, in a year, in 20 years, what will I feel if I make
Yeah.
this decision? Just connect to that moment because time isn't here. Once you get
Mm-hmm.
yourself out of that whole time trap, you will actually feel like, okay, I actually want to make this decision. It's terrifying as crap. But if I stay
Yeah.
here, I know that I'm betraying myself because I'm going to be miserable. Like I made it like, I don't, oh, like, oh yeah, like I'm living my life. I'm doing things. Absolutely. But like you, every single month, probably there is this moment of like, okay, we're going this way. You
What am
think you're
I
going this
doing?
way. Where are you going? Like, it's like, where are we going? And so at that moment, I'm just like, it's okay. It's a moment of that darkness to see the light again. And you have to go into it. And you have to sit there and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know who I am right now, but I'm not rushing. That's one thing I know. I'm just going to sit
Yeah.
here and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to ask for help, either from a
Yeah.
coach, from the higher power, from somebody I trust, from you, from a friend. You're like, I need
Yeah.
help. I need guidance. I am open, but I'm not rushing into any crap that's not actually mine because the shiny
Yeah.
object is like, it's going to go away in 2 minutes. You have to like, no.
If it's meant to be there, then it's not going to disappear in 2 minutes.
No. But once you know, don't wait. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Once you
Oh,
know,
yeah, I
there
agree
is
with that.
no dilly-dallying. Let's take another
Yeah.
year and just sit there and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I made the decision, but
One,
I ain't doing anything. Life is short,
yeah.
guys. Like,
Once you
you have
know,
that
you just
clarity
need to
for a
make a
reason.
decision and just
Yes.
do it. Go for it. Because,
Yes. Start the momentum, right? Get to the hard parts. Like, let's get it.
exactly.
It's just.
Exactly. 100%. It's crazy. It's just like, I guess like a lot of people, they realize that they want something and they're like, but I don't actually know, like I've realized that I want to do that thing, but I don't know really how to go about it. And I'm really scared. So I'm just not going to do anything. So I'm just going to like pretty much spend the rest of my life beating myself up for not having taken the opportunity. Sasha has frozen. So hopefully she will come back in a second. Hey, there she is. Are you back?
Hey, yeah, my connection just crapped out. It's okay. I'm back. Okay.
Good. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what I was just saying was sometimes, people they go through they realize that they want something, and then they go,
Mhm.
well, I know I want that, but it's like, it seems like so far away that I'm just not,
Mhm.
like, I'm too comfortable here, so I'm just gonna
Yeah,
just wait here until the
yeah,
time's right. And the
yeah,
time's never right. So then they
yeah,
just kind of like stay
yeah,
where they are, and then they end up just regretting it all. And it just, yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, that's like such a waste, you know? It's just, you know, jump,
yeah,
just take
yeah.
the
It's
leap. Once you've
yeah, and
decided it, just go for it.
go for it. Go. And the thing is, if you don't, we talked about this, and I think we're always going to be talking about this. Like, you will
Yeah.
never feel ready, especially
Yeah.
for the things you really desire, because the reason you experience the fullness of who you are, and you don't know what that looks like, so you're going to be terrified. Like, what if I, you know, explode in my all of my love and power? And literally, like, we're so terrified because we're so used to playing small and struggling and like earning a right to be happy and confident, that when something presents itself and you're like, that's my path, I know it, and if I go there, I'm going to be like in my power. It's going to be
Yeah.
hard, but I'm going to get stronger, right? And even more in my power. That I'm
Yeah.
terrified because it's going to ask of me to play the leading role in my life. And I don't
Yeah.
know how to do that. So I'm just going to dilly dally and wait for someone else to come and save me. No one's coming to save you. No one is coming to save you, ever.
That's exactly it. That's
Ever. And
exactly
that's
it.
a good thing. And that's a really good thing. So if somebody appears to say, like, I'm going to save you and I'm going to lead you, you don't have to do anything, that's not the path. Like, if you don't do the work, if you don't actually experience the process of that growth into what you meant to be, there's no purpose to it. Like, what's the actual point? It's like you have a beautiful meal in front of you. It's like, actually, you don't get to taste it or get
Yeah.
any benefits nutritionally. You just
Yeah.
had it. Bye. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
You can just look at it and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it away.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
no,
like,
give
throw it
it to
out, throw
me.
it out.
Like, no, I don't want to do
It's a
that.
great
Why
visual.
would I do that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's you're never going to be ready, because being
Yeah.
ready means saying, I will never be ready to be really who I am because my mind is so limited, but I'm open to learning how big I can go in my own self, right? Big being, large in your soul and your spirit and the amazing things you're going to do in the world. Just like owning that you're here for that. You're here
Yeah.
to do that. And it's never going to be comfortable, like, ever. You know?
Yeah. And also, like, you even want it to be, because, like, basically, if you're sitting in your comfort zone all the time, you're never really gonna be progressing. You're never gonna be getting any better at anything. You're never gonna really
Yeah.
challenge yourself. You're
No.
sitting there in like a pit and just like,
Hmm.
well, I'm just gonna watch the world go by, and I'm just gonna like see everyone else like growing and changing and progressing, but I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
any of it 'cause I'm too scared. And it's like,
Yes.
no, like, you can't live like that. Why would you live like that?
Mm.
That doesn't make any
No.
sense. So I think,
It's ego. That's why.
yeah,
It's
it
ego.
is.
I mean, I don't know about you, but like, even still, right? There are moments where you're like, okay, no, I'm going to stay here. It's like nice and safe here, and then you know in your mind that that is another time in your life where you're given the choice of, like, get out of your comfort zone and do something that's honest for you right now, or stay like coasting, although it's good still, where you're doing well, but you have this opportunity to go beyond what you think you're capable of. And it's
Yeah,
not about you. That's the thing. It's not about you. It's about you serving so much deeper, because you just step into this. I don't care if I look like a fool. I don't care if this makes no sense. I just know that it's time for me to actually open up and state what's true to me right now, because other people feel that too. And I need to do it for them as well. Like, it's not just about me being like, I'm on my path, and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, no,
no.
definitely, definitely. And especially when it comes to things like coaching and
Yes.
like helping people, it's like, if you're holding back from coaching, then you're basically like holding back from helping people, which
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
directly affecting
Yeah.
other people,
Yeah. It's,
you know?
you know what? Like, it's awful. And I'm going to say, because I've done it. Like, I became a coach like a long time ago, and I loved, the whole profession was just, I'm sure you just realize, okay, I've been practicing the sport, right? Like, whatever it is, the sport of life. I've been practicing his spiritual teachings and, all these things, and I've been doing all the work in psychology, and now I want to get an actual profession centered around it so that I can, help people. You do it. I did it. And then, like, into it, I got terrified. I got terrified. I was like, I'm not ready to do this. This is too much responsibility. I don't want to tell people what to do, how to live. Or like I literally freaked out, and I went into this shell where, well, I also like had a family death and things. So like a lot of things happened where I literally let my ego, like the victim mind, they're like, oh no, I'm too small, I can't possibly, step into this, play the leading role for a while. And it didn't look that way on the outside. I was still doing the work, I was still, coaching, I was doing a lot of things, but inside I was just like, I'm hiding, and I refused to listen. And it was good because I needed to go through that. I know what that feels like. I also did a lot of work during that time, but now looking back, a part of me is still like, oh my God, the most enlightened people, the most spiritually aware people, we every single day will be given a chance to like completely let go of that and hide, because that stepping into guiding someone and becoming a leader right in your own life is so overwhelmingly terrifying to the ego. It means we don't need it anymore. Like, and it's just gonna fight for its life. It's gonna throw everything at you. All of the people in your life are gonna come out like being like, hey, remember us? Let's go and like sabotage you, like, and you'll be like, yeah. It's just like,
and you're like, oh my God, what did I do wrong in a past life to like deserve this treatment? Like, what the hell, man? But I do find the thing that's made the biggest difference, like ego wise for me, has been like realizing that hate never comes from above.
No,
because
oh my God, that's beautiful. Yes.
It's like the one thing that like I constantly say to myself, like if I have any negativity at all, I'm like, and I do a lot. I hate a lot of negativity. I can't speak to this. But like especially with fighting, like, oh, you're so shit, what are you doing? Like, all this stuff. And it won't necessarily be from like, usually people get hate from members of the public. I get hate from other fighters. Like, I don't know what I do that's so bad, but like, I always just think to myself, like, okay, you never get, and like, I can rationalize hate from randomers like quite easily. I'm like, well, you don't know me, so like, you don't really know what you're hating. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm just like, oh well. But when you get hate from people that you actually know, then it's like, oh damn, I must have really upset them. Like, that sucked, like, it sucks that I upset someone, but actually, like, let's look into this, consider the source. Let's think about, why is this person projecting so much negativity on me or on people in general? And usually because they're very miserable and they're very unhappy in themselves, and they have to project themselves to feel better. So once you do that, you can kind of cope with your ego in a change. So you make a change, you get hate for it, but you go, well, actually, the reason I'm getting hate for it is because the people that are giving me hate are wanting to do the same thing, but they didn't have the guts to do it. And I had the guts to do it. So they're hating on me because they're like, oh, like, you don't deserve to do that. It's like, no, it's not about deserving. It's about how hard you work at something, or how much you want something, how much effort you put in. And, like, like, deserve that's not a thing,
No.
It's like, either you have it, or, either you get on with it, or you just don't bother. That's it.
Deserve. See, that's exactly. But deserve is like, you deserve the world, right? Everyone does. It's not about the fact that you getting something doesn't mean someone else doesn't. Like,
no,
that's
exactly.
the whole thing. You literally are telling them, we are allowed to receive what it is that we desire. Are you ready to accept that as a truth? Or are you scared as shit and you want to sit there wallowing, right, in the fact that no, I'm not good enough, so I'm not going to go for it? Like, that's fine. You are allowed to do that. I refuse to live in that, because I've done it, right? As you have too, I'm sure. And it's not why I'm here, I don't think. So like, I'm done. I'm like, this does not serve me or anyone else. If anything, right, that whole idea of jealousy, right, or anyone doing something that you want to do and you have this kind of feeling of like, I kind of want to be happy for them, but a part of you is just like, crap, like, why didn't I do that? Or like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And they're so lucky and da-da-da. And then you're like, well, really, it's just because you know in yourself, you not only should or could, but you want so badly to do that type of work or endeavor. And you can, but you refuse to receive it. You just refuse. Your container for reception. I talked so much about this in my Facebook group too. Like, receiving is so, like, you have to actually be there to receive.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're like, yeah, I want, but no, 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 I'm not good enough. It's like, well,
But it's
then
like
what do you
uh,
want?
it's like when people say they try and sell something, but then someone says yes, and they're like, "Oh, what do I do now?" Like, like it's like be ready to like you get so convinced that like, "Oh, no one's going to want my product." So then
Yeah,
when
right.
actually someone goes, "Yeah, I would love that product," then they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh crap, now I have to actually like go through with it."
deliver. I have to
Oh shit.
deliver, right? That's
Yeah,
the
like this
thing.
is a new thing. This is a new concept for me,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
I'm actually good enough. Somebody wants what I have. What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't want what I have, right? That's what happens. You realize it's like, oh, wait, I fooled them, but I didn't fool myself, right? So you can't fool anyone, right? That's the whole thing. But the point of the whole, like what you just said, the whole idea of, hey, like somebody actually wants what you have to share, to give, to whatever, if you truly believe it yourself and you actually want it too, something comes to mind. This is really powerful. Like, when we say like, oh, I would like this or I want this, like ask yourself, is it really what you want? Or is this your ego's way of playing safe, right? Being like, I want this much. Because, if I actually say what I want, it sounds so ridiculous that I'll never get it. So I'd rather ask for this much, not get it, and not be as disappointed, And then, but if you actually, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, oh my God, right? Like, what am I going to do now? Like, oh my God. And this is the thing, be happy and powerful. I don't know how to do that. So
Yeah,
nobody told
right?
me, there's no manual. And there is a quote, I was on a coaching call with my coach yesterday, and one of them, so what he shared something really beautiful. And he said, it is much easier, everybody, we have one person live, but whoever watches this on the replay, take note. It is much easier to get what you desire than it is to get what you think you can get.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right? Like, think about
Yeah.
that. It's so hard for us to get what we want because we literally say, I'm going to say I want this in my mind. I'm going to want this because it's what I think I can get. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go after this thing, like power on. And then
Yeah.
I'm not going to go after the thing I really want ever. So I'm naturally never going to get it. But like the one thing I'm going after is like only what I think I can get. It's safe. And the thing is, it's much harder to get that, the thing you desire, because the thing you desire comes from your higher self. You are intended to receive it. That's why it's in your mind. It's because it's for you. The dream is in you for you.
Yeah.
Why are you creating ego driven dreams that aren't yours, that you're going to like kill yourself going after, and you will not get? That's the thing. It's just I'm like, oh my God, that's so true, right? It's like we say I want this, but not this much. No, no, no. Or not. It's not about much, right? It's not. This is not what I want. Do I want
Yeah.
this? Not really, but it's really safe to say I do. It's like,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it. Literally. It's so freaking true as well.
in our
Like, it's
personal lives
so
too.
true.
It's just like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
it's like, I just want this much happiness, like this much,
Yeah.
but then give me some misery, because then I don't want anyone else to get upset, or jealous, or I don't want to cause anybody else pain, because apparently there's a limited amount of happiness in the world, right? Like if I have so
Apparently,
much,
yeah.
like,
I hear
somebody
that
else
too.
will suffer. Like,
I
are
hear
you
that too.
just
I hear that too.
miserable, Helen, because I'm happy like all the time? You're just like, Sasha, can you just tone it down?
Never tone it down. Never ever tone it down. So what would you say would be the best way to start making a process change? So like you've realized that you want to change, you're here, you want to be here. What's the first thing you would do?
The first thing you would do is get really, really clear, like really clear on what happens if you don't change. Like, you have to understand like what the outcome will be if you don't change. That has to be so just aligned to your zone of vision, being like, if I don't change this process right now, this is what my life is going to look like in a month and a year. Like, see yourself there. How are you going to feel? So if you don't make a change, what is going to be your reality? Get very honest. The
Yep.
truth is recognized when it is seen and heard. You'll know what the truth is of what's going to happen to you if you don't change. That is your life. I don't want to go there, right? But you have to be so aware of that pain, so that you're like, okay, the pain of that is so much more intense than me actually taking a leap. And the discomfort of that is more
Yep.
exciting than staying in this pain, right? And the disappointment you're going to feel, like really feel it in your bones. If you look back a year from like, I knew I wanted to, but I didn't. Okay, we're here. How do I feel about myself? you know? And I knew, right? I knew, and I didn't. So have that vision. I know it's not fun, but like have that pain in mind. And then what do you need to do today that that person that made a change would do, right? Reverse engineer. Okay, so I want to be over there. That person that made the decision, what would they do? Like I'm asking my future self to come back here and be like, okay, do I need to spend a week with no social media, talking to a spiritual counselor, to a coach, getting some whatever, getting some sleep, whatever you need, but you will know only once you say like, I don't want to go over there. I know I want to go over here. What does she need to do today? Like, or he, right? I mean, that's what I would start. I would just start with clarity. Like, where do you not want to be? Where do you want to be? What's the limiting factor? What does that person do that you are not going to do if you go over here, right? If you actually choose to stay the same, what are you not doing? You're not picking up the phone and calling somebody. You're not submitting that blog. You're not quitting your job. You're not breaking up with that relationship with that guy who's treating you or that girl's treating you badly. It's not good for you, right? You're not standing up for your rights. Whatever it is that you're not doing, you'll know what it is. And you'll have to start doing it. Like, it's just that's the one. What do you think? What do you think? What would be the number thing you learn?
I would say exactly the same, apart from I would write it down. I love writing stuff down.
Absolutely, write it down. Yeah, no. That's like, no. Yeah, absolutely. So
like write it down, draw pictures, make notes.
Look at it.
Have where are my Post-its? Yep, I have Post-it. This is the result of one meeting today. One. There's like 20 Post-its. This is my life. Post-its on my life. But like the thing I like about Post-its is that what I do is I have my diary and I have like a big page, like an A4 page for each week. And then if I don't finish something in that week, or if I don't deal with that, like whatever it is in that week, I just take the Post-it and stick it on the next week. And then, okay, I know I still have to deal with that.
I love that. I love that because I keep ripping pages out and being like, oh no, this goes to this week. It's just like,
but it's like, but you don't want them to be too big. So like, this is a perfect size. It's like you get enough information, but not too much to like get whatever. You know, you can just get enough. You know, I'm trying to look for an example, but like my social media, I have that. And then I'm done. I don't need it after. You know, like I have one, like done now. I don't need it. I can throw that away. You know, I have my little crumpled up balls of Post-it notes that I've finished with today. Finished job.
See, cross it out, crumple it out, but like see the progress you're making and make it messy. Life is messy. You know, if you want to make it organized, that's great too. But know that it's okay to cross things out and be like, this is no longer relevant. I'm going to add this. Like, this is your life. You run the show. So how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So for you to have Post-its, like that's how you do things. You come up with ideas like this now, over here. I'm done crumbling it out. I'm running my show. So you today, so what do you have to do to change your life today? What is it, the affirmation, right? Affirmations, again, they're great. They're useless if you don't actually feel that urge to change and you're committed to that vision, right? You telling yourself, I'm going to change is not going to change anything. You're just going to feel bad about yourself. You need to understand why. And you also need to know that if you don't, this is the alternative.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, for most people, like staying exactly where you are is bad enough. But for some people, like, you know, you have to really exaggerate it to yourself. Like really realize, like, you know what, if I actually stay exactly where I am, you know, if I continue to eat this amount of food or this unhealthy food, then I'm going to put weight on because I'm not eating what I need to stay alive. I'm eating more than that. So it's actually going to get worse. The problem's going to get worse, not better. And not even going to sit the same.
No,
that's going to get worse.
Actually, that's really the really important distinction what you said, because we keep thinking like you stay the same, right? You're not going to stay the same. If you know what you're doing is not good, right? If you already know, it's going to get worse. Like life doesn't stay the same. It stays in flux, right? It goes down here or goes up here.
Nothing's linear.
No,
it's like it's not going to be ever like this. It's going to be like this.
Exactly. Like, so are you decaying or are you growing? Decay or growth. That's one or the other. So if you know this is bad for you, you're staying here, you will decay.
That's it.
Like
That's
that's
it.
and you can always come out of it. It's not like, oh yes, you make a mistake and your life is over. No, of course, make the mistakes. I've done it. We've all done it. We might still be, we probably will do more.
Probably why
But
we're good coaches, because we've made so many mistakes. Like
we're
basically,
like
a coach is just someone that's like really good at getting over their mistakes.
yeah, we know the lows, guys. Like we have
We've been there.
we've been there, and we've been there so hard that we took the time to take notes and be like, oh, this is an interesting room. It's just like, what do we like, well, how do we get out of here? Like, what do we do with this one? It's just literally, and then we go and we read about it, and then we get a coach to get us out of there, and we take notes. Like, this is how we got out there. But like, literally, it's almost like, it's not masochistic, but it's a little bit, because almost sometimes we seek out, right? Even the darkness, we're like, ooh, I feel so down. Okay, let's sit with this. What can I do about it? How can I get out of here? But like, let's really sink into it. And it's just like, because other people don't have that moment, right? They don't have the time. It's not their job to figure it out. They just want to get out of it. And so that's where you come in, and you're like, okay, hey, I've done it so many times. Can we do it together so that I can shepherd you?
I can actually just tell you exactly what to do because I've done it that many times.
well, yeah, but I mean, saying what, like, we don't tell them what to do. We show them a way back to what they need to do.
No, like I ask people questions and I get them to make their own decisions. It's just
that's what coaching is.
Usually they kind of have a good idea of which direction to go in by that point.
Always.
So, and usually I find actually my clients know what to do. They just need someone to help them do it.
Again, it's the same question with everyone. It's like, when do you know? You just know. It's just that you really don't give yourself the time and the space and the resources to make that decision with confidence. And it's okay that you don't, because honestly, doing these things like making huge life decisions or changing something, even if it's like eating, if that's what you've done your whole life, even if you know it's bad for you, it's all gung-ho to say, yes, I'm going to change. But like, your whole life is structured around this identity. Like, you giving it up is so hard. It's not like you need someone to tell you what to do, but if you want to get out of there easily and with kind of like almost like I don't want to say it's faster, but let's say it's swifter. It's swifter. It's easier and cleaner.
It's
right?
More efficient use of your time.
Yeah, like, your time, your life, your energy, where you're not wasting time sitting there and pondering like one thing, because no one's there to ask you one question, just one, that will just be like, oh, like a light bulb. Oh, of course, I don't want this. I'm gonna, it's like no one's asking you, so you're sitting there waiting for the question to come, and no one's asking. So I think it's phenomenal, because that's what you do. You come in, that's what I do. We come in, we're like, we help you live into better questions, the ones that you need to hear, that you are not asking yourself, and no one around you has the guts or the time or just doesn't care to ask you either, right? It's like, are you ready to hear them though? That's the question too. Are you actually ready?
Big one. And that's actually why I always say that I only work with people who have already made the decision to change, because I don't want to be the person that's sitting there trying to persuade you to make that decision.
No.
Like, I'm the person you come to when you've already made that decision. You've made the decision, you know you want to change. Okay, now it's time to work. Like, I'm not going to persuade you that you need to make the change, because that's on you.
No, like, exactly. 100%. Yeah. You never, and that's why your work is so powerful, because if you work with somebody and you know that they desire the change, they have committed to themselves, and you have committed to them committing to themselves. It's so much deeper, right? It's not like, I changed you. Like, no.
Yeah. No.
I got to your side, and I supported your really like grandiose desire to make a change. And because I was there, you were like, I'm committed to myself. And this person over here is not going to let me give up myself. Like, this is really important, right? It's like you are sharing with them your energy in a way that, like, you're not pressuring anyone, but you're telling them, hey, I know that you have a promise to yourself that means more to you than anything else. And I know it's new for you to live this way, but I'm going to remind you, like, every single day.
Yeah. And I find that the why is always so much more powerful as well, because people want it so much more. And it's like, when you but when you get them to realize how powerful their why is, then it's like, it's a game changer, because it's like, oh my God, I actually want this so badly. And yeah, I'm going to need support, and yeah, I'm going to need knowledge, but really that's all I need, and I can do this.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a freaking great place to be
I
honest.
mean, yes. Oh wait, it's really, and also we can say, there's so much to be said. It's like, oh, some people need to be reminded that they need to make a change. You know what? Everybody, and this is what I get this. Actually, Ross asked me the other day. He was like, how do you think that you come here with kind of like the suffering is like part of your life, and like, it's not like, look, I'm not a psychotherapist. I don't know anyone. From my perspective, I think what I do feel like I know, and I don't know if you feel the same way, Helen, but as a human being, I feel like we all come here with a curriculum, like a soul curriculum. And some of us, yes, we do come with a certain amount of suffering we need to go through. And some of us manifest more of it. It is our journey, our curriculum. But until you come to a point in your curriculum, chapter 10, whatever, chapter 2, point 5b, where you're like, whoa, I really want to make a change. Until that point comes, you and I, like, you're not ready to do it. And it's okay if it takes you 20 chapters, because when you're ready, you're really ready. It's never too late, but only you know when it is, right?
And the
that's
other
where, like,
thing
you ask
is
for help.
about that is like sometimes it's you might think that you're like, oh, when you're 20, you don't want the same things as when you're 30. When you're 40, you don't want the same thing. So it's okay that change doesn't come at that point, because you're not ready. Like I've met some people in my life that I would never have appreciated if I was 20 years old. I would have just been like, oh, what a dick, but now I'm like, oh my God, that person means so much to me, like, or whatever, like, they're such a good friend to me, or whatever, it's just like that. And it's just like, you're not ready to be a good friend with them or have a good connection with them when you're a younger person. When you're more of a good person, you just don't have the capability to appreciate them or whatever it is. Whereas when you get older, then you start to realize, oh, this person actually has the same values as me, the same morals as me. Like, we get on, we have a good connection. Like, we are going to help each other in life. And, oh, hey, like, I want to spend time with more people like this, because this person is really a good person, or whatever. And you realize then that you want to spend more time with people like that, but you wouldn't realize that with, like, 10 years ago, for example. You would just ignore it and be like, oh, well. Never mind,
It's okay. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's your journey. There are no mistakes. Our biggest driver with any conversation you and I have is that when and it's, you took the time, you took a moment, you breathed into it, it's not your ego asking you to make a change. It's your higher self being like, okay, time's up. Buttercup, like, this is the time. You still could not make it. It's fine. But just know it's the time for you. If you want to, you could be free. That's when you have to decide. And once you decide, then yes, ask for support, ask for help, but make that decision, know your why first, connect to that.
Exactly.
Have a clear idea of where you want to go and why it's important to you, right? And what happens if you don't. Because again, like we said, you don't stay the same. It will get worse. If it's not good now, it will get worse. Like, if you're ready for that, if you need to suffer more, that's, again, your curriculum. I've chosen suffering sometimes. It's important to say yes to suffering sometimes. That's what we need to experience. Be like, okay, I'm really done now. Like, it's just like, right?
Sometimes you have to make mistakes at least like 6 times to really like learn properly.
You're like, right. Okay.
I recognize this mistake from the last 6 times I made it. Maybe I shouldn't do this again.
I love that.
That's my name.
I recognize you. We've dated a while ago, 2 or 3 times I've been out with you, and it's like, it was not good.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Oh, that's amazing. But see, like, it's so easy to recognize you, right? If you actually pay attention. So most important thing, pay attention. Pay attention to where you are right now, not yesterday. Like, this is the moment. You're watching us for a reason. Hallelujah.
Oh my God. Love you too. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up with so we're going to say our 3 main points of what we've learned today. So, the things that I feel like we've really kind of addressed, let's say, is listening to yourself, listen to your intuition. Don't get distracted by shiny objects. Really take the time to decide if it's if this change is what you want, and when you've decided, go get help. You can't do it alone.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Exactly. Not because you're not enough, but because you deserve it. That's the thing, right? You deserve it. We are here as a human species together for a reason. So you have that friend, you have that person, you have that teacher. Ask for help if you don't know what to do next. But if you're ready to make a change, it is time. It is time. Jump into the change, because it's much easier to get what you actually want than the things you think you can get. And sometimes
I'm gonna write that down. Jump into the change.
Yes. Jump into the change, and know that in like that jump, you're gonna discover muscles that you've never known, and you'll be so proud of yourself, especially if you crash, right? But you'll be like, oh my God, I did it. Like literally, that's all you're gonna want to think about. You're like, what else can I do? What else can I do? That's the best one, right? It's like the best feeling. It's like, I wanted to do this thing, is great. But like, oh my God, what else?
What else? Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna change everything. It's like,
exactly.
Yeah. One change begets everything.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Start with one change. Tell us what you want to change, so that we can like shepherd you in with the one person.
Everyone who's watching live, or everyone who's watching the replay, if you can comment on the link below, just write a comment. Tell us what you're going to change. Tell us what you want to change. If it's not something we can help you with, then we will know people that can, so there's no worry there. But most likely between us, we'll be able to help you. I would say most things. But yeah, comment below. I'm gonna do the replay thing on my page. I'm gonna share it on YouTube. So guys, if you want to go follow me or Sasha, we'll both be linked in the video. Also, my YouTube and Sasha's YouTube is like HHH Self Defense, and yours is your name, or
just Sasha Lipskaia.
Okay, cool. I can't remember, sorry. I know I do follow you, but I can't remember the name.
It doesn't matter, you don't need my name.
I'll tag it anyway. So all the videos, all the information, everything will be on either Instagram or YouTube or both. So go follow us and spread the love, and we will see you next Wednesday for more Wisdom Wednesday. And if anyone wants us to discuss some specific topics as well, then just give us a shout. We're always open to discussions, and if not, we will take it from our brains or something. I don't know.
There's enough. We have enough of stuff.
We have a lot. So
we have a lot. Look, we're 45 minutes later. We're like, we're gonna do a short one.
Yeah, this is our short one. Yeah, it's really short.
Hey, it's good.
We tried.
We have a lot to give. This is good.
Oh man, brilliant.
Oh
right,
love you,
I will see you next week for more Wisdom Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.